Yo, welcome back to another episode of Honest About Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we're joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player Dylan Hullaby. Dylan is Dylan just signed a PTO with the most recently expanded Monroe Moccasins in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. But even before he signed in the Fed, he played last year in Oxford City Stars in the NIHL one. But even before that, he played at University of Southern Maine for NCAA Division III. And then before that, he played junior hockey in the USPHL Premier and also played high school hockey in Iowa for a little bit. So, Dylan, I'm really excited to get you on the show. So, welcome to the show, Dylan Hullaby.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Very excited.
Yeah, of course, it's gonna be a good time. But to start things off, like, how has summer been for you? I know you've been busy. So, like, how's your off season looking?
It was off to a slow start coming back from England. Just kind of didn't have like the greatest time out there, so I kind of really just took a good chunk of time to just kind of really get myself back, and kind of just like almost just like reset completely. But recently I've started to pick it back up again and gonna hit it hard here pretty soon, and then have good probably 2 months, 2.5 months of just relentlessness. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you can do. And like it's great that you were able to like find that time to just relax and just reset because after the season, like any part of the season, like it's so taxing on your body, especially in season that like once it's the off season, like it's so nice to just relax, recover, and just have like that whole new mindset going into the off season and the following year.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like what are you doing to train to get ready for this season in Monroe?
Um, I I found not found, but I've been skating with a couple local guys who have a pretty good track record themselves. Uh, so I've been ever since I was a little kid. I've been skating with them. So getting out a couple times a week with those guys in the morning. Uh, Traveling, trying to get ice time, because it's not really big here in Iowa, so it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to find good skates and like people willing to do good skates. So, kind of traveling out to Chicago area, Minneapolis area, getting out there when I can. But for sure, that's kind of the on ice, and the off ice is kind of just simple what I've been doing. So,
Yeah, just finding the gym and just going to the gym and grinding it
yeah,
out there.
for sure,
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
before we get into like your pro career and your junior and college experience, I want to get into like your youth hockey career a little bit here. So, you're from Columbia, Maryland, right?
I was born there. I think I was only there for like a year, and then we kind of moved around, and then I settled in Iowa when I was about probably 6. So I've been here ever since then. But yeah,
Yeah, so like you settled in Iowa, like you said, like what was growing up in Iowa like and just finding like the youth hockey through there and going into high school hockey as well.
um, so I started playing hockey when I lived in New York. I lived there for about 2 years, and then that's where I truly found the game. And then so I started skating there, and then when I got to Iowa, they had the rink. Obviously, my dad worked with the USHL program here, so um, obviously able to be in that kind of just in the rink all the time with him, and just kind of always being there. So then I just kind of picked up with like the youth teams here and started playing it there, and that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, it's like what were some of those memories like going into like the USHL rink and just being with the guys there and just really falling in love with the game?
It was awesome. I mean, like youth, all the rinks I played in were like just U show barns. Like
Yeah.
it's just like Waterloo, Dubuque, Des Moines, Omaha, like every rink we would go to play, like it was just like a full bowl, just like state of the art, like brand new. It was awesome. And then like you'd play a tournament in like a small town, Wisconsin, and then it's just like a couple rafters and just like this old place from like the 80s, and you're just like, oh wow, this is your guys' rink, and you kind of don't really think about it, but it's kind of special being in Iowa just because all the teams that we have here are so good. So
Yeah, and then you went through like the Rough Riders youth organizations and everything like
yeah.
that. It's like what was that like? Because like that's part of it when like you really fall in love with the game, and you're
Yeah.
also like it's so much fun. Like there's no stress, nothing like that. You're just playing with your buddies and just having a grand time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was playing with the same guys for as long as I could remember. We just our age group just stuck together for so long, and like probably my like probably my U like 13, 14, like right before high school was like when we really like were like super close together, and it was like that like I think it was like my band of major year that was like the best year like that we've had, and it was just so fun. Um, just we were tearing up every tournament we went to. It was hilarious. The like just everything in between, like the hotels, just everything else. And then we all went up to high school together, and I played there my freshman year, and then just had just us our group coming into high school. It just made it so much more fun, and just kind of playing up with like the older kids. It was so fun.
Yeah, and you're so familiar with them too, so it's like their
Yeah,
tendencies, you have chemistry with them, like you grew up with them, so like makes that transition way easier compared to just going to a new school where you don't really know anyone.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, but like, what was your high school hockey experience in Iowa, and just like having like go from like your freshman year all the way to before you went on to juniors?
Um, so I played my freshman year, JV actually. Um, and I mean, just kind of the switch was nice just because I was a big body, so like it wasn't like I was under like a lot of these guys are like undersized when they come
Yeah,
into high school and like everything like that. But I mean, I had the frame with me, so it's just kind of like in easier like break-in period, I guess. Um, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, our coach, um, awesome dude. So like that was also nice. My best friends were still playing at the time, so like it was super fun. And then my sophomore year is when I left to go play for the Mullets in the USPHL. Um, so I was 15, 16 that year. So I played there for 2 years, so my junior year. And then I came back my senior year, back to high school. Um, and like that year was awesome. We had a bunch of kids come back from like AAA and all that stuff, and um, we just it was just like it was such a blast. We were just kind of tearing it up, and we lost in the state champ game, and it still hurts to this day. But it was just the team we had. It was a lot of fun. We were pretty good. It was good.
yeah. It's like what do you learn throughout those years where you're like developing yourself as like an athlete and a person, and then to be able to go on to juniors, like you're also preparing yourself for junior hockey when you're playing high school.
hmm Um, I mean, junior hockey was something that I always wanted to do when I was little as well. So kind of that like mental like it was the first time I left home too. Like I didn't do any AAA or anything before that. So I mean, I was ready to step away from like my family and everything and move away and kind of just like meet a full new bunch of guys. I was kind of ready for that mentally. Physically though, I definitely don't think I was ready to play juniors, but um, the coach of the Mullets when I went saw something and he took a lot of time to help me develop. So that like first year I was there was just like all development, and really just kind of gave me that leg up. Really, just like being like better than what I was because I watch videos now of me like before that year, and it was just like couldn't skate, couldn't handle the puck, and then that year is really kind of where it flipped over and like um kind of helped me really become who I am today. So
Yeah.
it was pretty
It,
nice.
yeah, it also helps build your confidence when you're
Yeah,
just
exactly.
on development and everything. And then you go back and watch videos, and like I do the same thing. And it's like I look back like even 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I'm
Yeah,
like I'm a totally different player. And like it boosts
yeah,
confidence because it's like, especially since it's not that far off, like, and just to be able to realize like how much better you got, like it boosts the confidence for sure.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But then you go on to junior hockey after your first year, like you said, in high school, where you played for the Minnesota Mullets in the USPHL Premier.
Yep.
Like, what was the process like to go from high school and then go to a junior team?
Um, I mean, it was hard to like leave everybody, but I was so eager to just like because hockey's all I want to do. So like at that point, it's like, oh, I get to move away at 15 and go play hockey. Like it's sick. Like just the thought of it and like the idea of just like being able to just fully focus on hockey just was like it's a dream come true almost. So um I was when my dad told me about it, I was like, yeah, let's do it for sure. Like no hesitation. Um but I mean obviously like I gotta give credit too to the guys on that team as well. Like kinda like they knew me coming in at like 15 was hard and they really helped me kind of adapt everything, kind of know what's going on, what to do. Um, so I mean, I had a great group around me, kind of showing me the ropes, and so I really appreciate those guys for sure.
Yeah, especially when like it's your first time moving away from home, like
Yeah,
you're going to somewhere where you haven't been before, so you need like guys like that to help help you get situated and everything. Like what was it like going away and like having like billets and just having that transition? Because you definitely have to grow up when you
yeah,
move on.
yeah. I mean, I just the whole situation. I was just so fortunate. The billets that I got still talk to them to this day. They were just the best. And so supportive, like always checking in on me, checking in on my grades, like for school, like just like as like normal, like my regular parents would. Like it was just like it was just like just the smoothest transition, and like they were the best. And it was just it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. So then you go on and you play in Minnesota for the next couple years. Like what was it like going
Mhm.
from the first year that you were there to like the second year and really finally getting used to the game and really being able to take off and succeed there?
That second year when I came in, I was like, all right, I had my like development year. Now I can really like hit the gas this year. And I had a really good like first half of that season. And then I kind of just like I dropped off probably midway through. Um, and it was kind of now I look at it, it's kind of nice because I kind of when like I look back on it and kind of like just like review it, I guess I can like really see what was happening, like the bad tendencies that I was doing, like what was like what what I was doing in that first half to make me succeed, to looking at that second half and seeing like, all right, this is what I can't do. This is what needs to be like fixed. Um, so looking back at that, it's kind of nice. But when I was going through it, it kind of sucked. It sucked a lot. But I mean, it was it was good for me. I think as a player, kind of having that like that slump,
Yeah.
because now I can kind of be aware of it and kind of like recognize it.
Yeah, at least you're aware of it now and like
Mhm.
especially like in a season, you're gonna have good nights, you're gonna have bad nights. Like it's a roller coaster of a season, like every single year. So how do you manage that and like really become more aware of those different habits that might like go from like good, like then you get bad habits because of like your practice, just stuff like that. Like how do you manage and
Mhm.
become aware of all that?
Um, I uh, I mean, it was just like having like it was more like mental more than anything. Like just being turned on, like flipped on when you're on the ice, like even in practices and everything. Like just like practices mean so much, and it's like I think that year I was just kind of like I just you kind of just show up to the rink and you're just like whatever, another day. Like every day's got to be like
Yeah.
go go go, and so I kind of like I can like kind of like realize like my attitude when I show up and like kind of and then I can kind of like snap at it and be like, all right, like this is what you really want to do. Like this is the time to do it. Like it's not like oh, it's not the games on the weekends. Like it's during the week. Like it's Monday, Tuesday. Like got to figure it out. So
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of
you have to be like intentional with every practice.
yeah,
Like once you slack off and like go like and half-ass stuff, like that's when you create bad habits and then
hmm
like, oh, why am I doing bad? And it's because you're bad habits and you're just going through the motions.
exactly, exactly.
So just to be aware and have that intention and like maybe like dial it in on like three different points to really get you focusing on practice and not being able to just do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And then you go into your third year with the Minnesota Mullets before you go in and you play 4 games there before going back to high school for your senior year. Like, what was that last year of junior or yeah, your last year of junior hockey or one of your last years of junior hockey like for you?
Yeah. So I knew I was going back to high school, and I was at home, and then my coach called me from the Mullets, and he said, "Hey, we got a couple games in Wisconsin Dells, which is only like 3 hours from me." He's like, "You want to come up and play a couple?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So, and it was before my high school season started, so um, it was nice to play a couple games that year with them. So I played two in Wisconsin and Dells, and then two in, I think it was Rochester at the time. Um, so I got a couple games in that year. But I mean, it was awesome to play with those guys again. But it was just kind of bittersweet because it was like I know I'm not sticking around for the rest of the year, but it was also fun to be on the ice with those guys again, and uh, it was fun. It was a good time. We were buzzing.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear at least. And but then you go to high school and you're captain for the Riders for your last year. Like, what was it like being a leader on that team, and what do you learn from being a leader and having a C on your jersey?
Um, it kind of was like a like almost like a almost like an ego check for me because it was like I came back. I was upset that I was coming back. Like I wanted to play juniors. I didn't even want to be the captain at the beginning. Like when I was like announced captain, I was kind of upset. I'm not upset about it, but like kind of just bummed. Like I was just like, man, I don't want to be here. Like I don't want to be captain or whatever. But then I kind of like looked at myself and I was like, hey, like this is yet another year of hockey. Like that's like we got a good team. Could do something good here. Like so it kind of just made me kind of realize like, hey, like everyone's kind of like looking up at me. Like I gotta set a good tone here. Like I gotta be good on the ice, like good off the ice, kind of. And it's just kind of nice if like it's just something holding over my head. Like hey, like you got to be good here. Like you got to be a good role model and everything. So I felt like it was awesome. It was a good opportunity for me.
Yeah, it's like something more. Like obviously you're pissed off and everything about like the whole situation, but you have the chance to be a leader and be
Hmm.
help teach the younger kids coming in to really like what the culture is all about at school and like what you really want to develop into the next couple years to come.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then after that year, you went back into the USPHL Premier to play juniors the last 2 years of your junior hockey career, where you played with the Hudson Havoc. It's like, what was it like getting that fresh start in juniors and having a new city to play for?
It was kind of a weird story because so it was like right after COVID, and I originally was going to play in the EHL, but I something happened and like it just fell through, and that summer I spent with one of my best friends from the Mullets, and his last year of juniors he played in Hudson, and he talked like the best about it. Like he was like, "Oh, the coach is awesome. Like he's really starting like a new culture for that team. Like it's legit." And I was like, "All right, all right." And like I played against him obviously when I was at the Mullets, so like he obviously knew like of me, I guess. And I just called him up one day and I was like, "Hey, man, um, just sitting here with my buddy, uh, like he's talking the world of like the program and everything." And I was like, "I'd love to come join you. Like, you got room on your roster." And he was pretty pumped. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, come along." So, um, turned out being like my best, like my favorite 2 years of hockey so far. So, um, I was just really fortunate. And that first year, um, it kind of sucked. It was like the year right after COVID. So like obviously some of the games were a little goofed up. Some of the rules, like
Yeah.
masks and stuff. But um, great, like met some of my friends for life, like on that team. So um, still talk to a bunch of them to this day, and it was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, and like it really does come down to like culture, and especially when like a coach wants to create like a good culture, and you're a good guy in the room and a good culture guy. So like obviously like when you get the opportunity, like you want to make the most of it and like help the organization and the team really create like that good atmosphere within the room.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Do you think that change of scenery was like extremely helpful for you in your career before moving on to college?
Yeah. I mean, I probably like my biggest like improvement happened within those 2 years for sure. Like on and off the ice, like I was kind of taught that like it's a job. Like it's like, especially looking at going to college from juniors, like it's like, and coming out of the USP, like it's tough coming out of the USP to go try to play NCAA. Um, and so, and that coach, he made it like realistic. Like, hey, there's only 3,700 like NCAA hockey players in this country, and like you got to be one of them. So it's like it's so cutthroat and like kind of just like that realization of like you're like, oh yeah, like I can go play college, whatever, but like no, like like it's to the point where it's like it's so just like legit. And so being there was like the best, and kind of just it gave me a new perspective of hockey, to be honest. Like kind of just like realizing what it means, like what you have to do as a player on and off the ice to like be the best, and like um just kind of be put in that position to kind of just really get after it. And it was awesome. I learned a lot, and it was the best.
Yeah, at that point, you have to start doing off ice stuff. Like if you want to improve, like you can get away like when you're younger with just being on the ice, but like as you get older and go up the levels, you have to really dial in the off ice work, the workouts in
Mhm.
the gym, the speed training, agility, stuff like that. And, like having like all that come together plus being on the ice, like that's what is going to help you become an even better hockey player.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
But then you go on to play at University of Southern Maine, NCAA Division III college hockey. So like what was the process like to commit there and then sign to go play at University of Southern Maine?
I did so in between my first year in Hudson and my age out year. I did a like a college showcase camp out in Boston, and that's where I met the coach there at that camp, and we chatted after the game, kind of just got in touch, and um, kind of just went from there. And I played that year, and I mean, it was just everything that he liked about me was just everything that was taught to me by this coach in Hudson. And it's just kind of awesome to kind of see what that coach was doing for me, and then kind of like seeing it all play out. So it was a good feeling. And then I started going through that slump again in my age out year, but it was only for like 2 weeks because I finally like cracked it down, like kind of broke it down, figured it out. Um, and my coach really helped me, kind of sat me down. He's like, hey, listen, like obviously you're in a slump. Like these colleges are not reaching out anymore. Like you text them and they're not going to text back. Like you need to figure it out. And I kind of just was like, yeah, for sure. And I just went on like it was like I went on like an 8 game heater. And then it was just like the coach, we were talking again. And then it just, everything played out from there. End of the season, went to nationals, um, ended that, and then just kept in touch. And it was kind of funny because like me and all my like best friends on that team, we took a trip to down to Florida, like a little golf trip. And the coach called me up on like one of the days, and he was just like, "Hey, man," just kind of offered me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll commit. Like, I love it. Like, it'd be awesome." And so then I committed on that trip, and it was just a blast. We all just went crazy, so it was fun.
Definitely got to celebrate after that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like you said, like that transition from the USP to NCAA Division III, like probably one of the hardest ones that you could do.
oh, for sure.
What was that transition like, and what did you really have to learn to have that success at the NCAA Division III level?
Um, I spent that summer. after my age out year, I lived with that buddy that I played with at the Mullets, because he went to Newman University, in just outside. I think it's outside Philly. I think, um, and I just trained with him for that full summer, and like I knew this guy, like he's legit, like he was like a legit guy. So I just seeing what his training regimen was, and just kind of like just being with him that entire summer, like completely like changed my. We were on the ice like almost every day, like in the gym twice a day, like kind of just seeing like what it takes to be at that level. And
Yeah.
um so that really helped me out a lot. And then just kind of taught me like what you have to do consistently to be that kind of guy. And so it was a really good learning step for me. So then once I got there, I just took everything that I learned from being in Hudson, being with my buddy that summer, and it really helped out, and it paid off for sure.
Yeah, consistency is huge, and probably one of the most important parts about learning to be successful is that consistency. Because there's obviously days where you don't want
Yeah,
to hit that skate, hit that workout, but like if you're consistent and just keep doing it, you're gonna have no choice but to go do it, and then it's also
yeah,
gonna help you help you gain the confidence that you're gonna perform at the next level, and it's really gonna help you overall be successful.
yeah, it pays off for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But like, what was that year like for you at University of Southern Maine? I know it was a 1 year thing before you went on to play pro. So like, what was that year like for you?
Um, Kind of slow start. I was scratched like the first couple games. And we played Hobart, and that was my first game, and it, it was unreal. I mean, it was just a game I've never seen before. Like the speed, like I mean, they just won uh the Natty Champ this year. And I think they won it my freshman year as well. When I was there. So that game, we ended up losing only I think it was like 2-1. And I just kept it simple, like just played to my strengths, and had a really good game. And the coach kind of took notice, and then I was just like, all right, I kind of just found my role, be like that third line winger, fourth line winger, and just like kind of just do my thing. And I did, and it paid off. Scored a couple goals that year. Um, but I mean, just playing at like that new tempo of game, like it's just completely different than the USB. Um, and the teams were playing like Norwich, Hobart, Elmira, like legit programs, and it was a blast. It was just like the purest hockey that I've ever played, and it was just like the speed and just the physicality. It was just like everything that I wanted out of hockey, like was that year, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and like just when programs like that and like the speed of the game, how strong guys are, like makes it a lot harder, obviously. But like that's
Yeah,
like we're all competitors, and like we're competitive, so like we love the aspect of that, and like it really like I feel like it like puts like our level here, and it kicks up our level a whole nother notch, especially when it comes to hard games like those.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
then you have that you play that first year of NCAA Division three, and then you don't go back, and you end up
Yeah.
going over to England to the Oxford City Stars in the NIHL. It's like what was it like to get over to England, and like how did that whole opportunity come up?
Um, I kind of I was that summer I was kind of just like reaching out to teams and kind of just like seeing like kind of mapping it out. I did plan on going back my second year back to Southern Maine, but the coach ended up quitting, and the school kind of it seems kind of sketch like it was just kind of like trying to I was like emailing like our directors and stuff, and kind of just being like, hey, like what's the process looking like for like the new coach and everything? And they kind of were just like being weird about it. So I was like, ooh, um, and like hockey wasn't like our main thing at that school, so it just kind of seemed a little fishy. But uh, I was reaching out to teams, and they were like, hey, like we'd love to bring you on. And I was like, okay, like what about in like a couple years from now, like kind of thing, like kind of seeing like what my options are. And they were like, no, it's got to be this year. It's got to be this year. And I was just kind of thinking about it, and I mean, I was paying a lot for school.
Yeah.
and I was just kind of like, why not? Like, why? Like, what's really like? I was just kind of, and my mom's from England, so like I got family over there. I have my passport, so it was easier for me to like get into these leagues and
Yeah.
stuff. And um, I just kind of took the chance, and I was like, all right, let's do it. So then I kind of just committed to going playing in there, and but it kind of sucked because like a couple weeks after I like fully committed to going over and signed and everything, Southern Maine hired uh, a coach that I had a good relationship with, and I was kind of upset that I've always wanted to play for him, and then that year was going to be the year I would have played with him, but for him, but I mean, just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you have to you go in, you have a pretty good year throughout that year. So like what was like getting into the country like? Obviously like you have family and all that there. It's like that makes it a little easier, but like the just like obviously it's different from the United States. Like what was like
hmm
the the culture like when you got there?
Um, I mean, hockey is still like a growing sport there, so it's definitely like it wasn't like on the radar for sure. Um, like they love soccer and everything,
Yeah.
so this is kind of like knowing like it wasn't like the top thing, but I mean, I love it there. I mean, obviously I have family ties there and everything, but it's just I've been there before, so like being back, but like I was always like a little kid, so just being to like experience it fully for like I guess the first time being able to like do it on my own kind of thing and just kind of it was just awesome. And I had a great roommate, this Australian guy, and so we had a lot of fun there, and I mean, it was just a lot of stories, a lot of experiences, but it was good.
Yeah. And like obviously like hockey's different over there compared to North America. Like
hmm
what was the transition going from the United States and North America game over to the European style game?
I mean, it was tough because like coming out of like D3, like it's so structured, like
Yeah.
it's just like playbook almost kind of hockey, and then I get over there and it's just like almost like a free for all. So it was so like it got to the point where in D3, like you could just be in a spot and then like not even look and know someone's there, like make a
Yeah.
play and like he's gonna catch this pass like in the spot. And it kind of took me a couple games to be like, all right, these guys aren't where I think they are. Like, um, so I kind of just had to like slow my game down a little bit and then kind of just like almost start from scratch and kind of pick it up. But once I got my feet going, once I started rolling, it was fun. It was once I kind of figured out like, hey, I just have to play it, then it kind of got easier for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, that start was kind of rough for me.
Yeah. It was probably good that you like slowed your game down and like really took it down just to have like everyone else be like get used to like what like your game and everything like that. And like it also
hmm
teaches you about like going back to the basics and just everything like that and keeping it simple.
hmm for sure.
Yeah. And then so like what were some of the biggest things you learned throughout that first year of professional hockey there?
Um, kind of just like, and we played a lot less games too, so um, kind of just showed the importance of like each game and like
Yeah.
kind of how you approach the game and just like being aware of just like, hey, like this could push us up the table like down the line, like kind of you got to like think about it like that, like this game right now could mean nothing, but like 5 6 weeks from now this game could potentially keep us in or out of playoffs or like you know what I mean. So like it was just kind of how to like kind of approaching the game of like, hey, like this means something and kind of going from there.
Yeah, like that every game's basically like a playoff game at that point because
Yeah.
every game is so important. You want to get the points because you never know what could happen down the road. Like you said, like 6 7 weeks from now could could be a point away from the playoffs, or you could be in
hmm
the playoffs. Like it's a big difference and a big like reason to just keep everything going and like really have like true meaning for every single game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Buried 9 goals in your first professional season. So what was getting that first one out of the way? Because I'm sure once that one got out of the way, all the goals started to come.
Yeah, took me a little bit, but it was a squeaker for sure. But it felt good to see it drop, and kind of got me rolling from there. So it was a good one. It felt good.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get another one after you scored your first one?
Ooh, maybe I'm not even sure. Maybe a couple games, maybe. I don't even know. Um, it was. I don't know. I can't remember when exactly. So it was a couple games in. Cause I remember some of my teammates getting on me about it, and I was like, all right, all right, all right. And then
All right,
they
I'll
started
get
throwing.
I'll get one. I'll get one the next shift.
Yeah, yeah. But after that, it was good. It felt good.
Yeah. You're just burying them after the first one. Like once you get the
Yeah,
first one out of the way, like that's when the monkey's off the back and
exactly,
free.
exactly.
Yeah, but like what were some of like your favorite moments from playing in England and just being in Oxford with Oxford City and in the Stars?
Um, I mean, just kind of like the different kind of um like kind of the atmospheres, like the rinks and stuff. Like each rink is just so different.
Yeah.
Like there's always like something about the rink that like each rink has. I think like the rink that our home rink that I played in, I think it was built in like '82, and like it's been so long since it's seen a renovation. So like it just kind of had like that old feel to it. Like um kind of like seeing it, like walking up to it, it just looks like something like out of like a movie, like a medieval movie. And it was just kind of it was just I laughed every time I walked up to the rink, every time I saw it. But like just like some rinks were just like brutal, some were sick. So it's just kind of funny. Like each team kind of had like their own like home advantage, pretty much. Um, so like the road games were always tough. Um, but I mean, it was fun. Um, but like playing for the Stars, it was. I mean, it was all right. Like I kind of got screwed out of like some stuff, but it's whatever at this point. Like I don't even really. It's whatever.
Yeah. Like
Um, and you kind of like see like now like what's going on with the team, so it's kind of like all right. But playing, we had Petr Cech on our team. He was played for us in goal, and that was like unreal. Like I'm a big soccer guy, so
yeah.
I knew of him before going there, and I was just like seeing him in person. I was like, oh, like just like this legend of like a soccer goalkeeper, like won Champions League and everything, and like one of the coolest dudes like I've ever met. He was just like he just acted like one of the guys in the locker room. Like it was like multi-million dollar like athlete, like pro sports athlete, and like you just like couldn't even tell. Like it was awesome. It was fun being with that guy.
Yeah, like that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity too, because like
Yeah.
soccer player, hockey player, like that's a pretty cool experience to have in your room.
Exactly. He was a legend, but yeah,
Oh
it
yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the atmosphere and like the fan bases are, from what I've heard, like soccer. Like what were the fan bases and like the atmosphere around the games? Like was it just like a soccer style cheering the entire time? Like what was
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of chants going on. Some fans were like better than others.
it?
And I remember one game we were getting hosed pretty good. And like our own fans just started like screaming at us. Like it was the first time I've ever been like harassed by like your home fans, and it was just kind of
Your
like,
own fans.
yeah, and our coach was going ballistic, and I just remember just like dudes like right behind our own bench, like literally wearing our jersey, just like screaming down at us. I just like look at him, I'm just like, dude, what? Like what is this? Like I was so just like, you guys gotta like cheer us on, get us out of this. Like it was just like you can't turn on us like midway through the game. But I mean, it was so goofy sometimes. But I mean, yeah, some away game, and like they travel too for like their like other teams away games, like their home fans will travel. So it's like um it's a pretty good like especially in our rank, we would pack it up pretty well, and then you just got like their section, and it was always packed, and I mean it was just always just every atmosphere I played in was just so fun. Each game, each rink had like the atmosphere was sick, so
Yeah,
they know how to do it for sure.
the atmosphere is like make a difference. Like when you're playing, like whether it be home or
Yeah,
away, like you feel the energy and like it's crazy how much the fans and like the energy like could impact a game.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, but it's funny when your own fans are cheering against you and just giving it to you guys.
Yeah, it was
What the hell's
unreal.
going on right now?
I was so clueless. I just was like, dude, what? It was awesome.
Yeah, that's unreal. But you signed a PTO with the Monroe Moccasins this year in the Federal Prospects Hockey League in the FPHL. It's like how excited are you to get things going in Monroe and to be in the FPHL?
I mean, it's awesome. I cannot wait. I am so pumped. I haven't been this excited in a long time, like in the off season. And just knowing that like I'm working my butt off this summer to get ready for that, and I just cannot wait to hit the ground running. Like to get this many games in a season, haven't done that in a long time. Like practices, like just I mean, it's been what been wanting to do ever since I was a little kid. So just finally having the opportunity to do it, I just can't wait. Like it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, on an expansion team too. So like that
Yeah,
pretty sick to build something from the ground up.
yeah. And it's kind of cool. Like I look at all like the social media posts for them and like just kind of like the early support that we already have kind of going on and everything. And just some of like the fans are just so fired up. And like I was looking and there's so many like people freaking out about season tickets, like if they're gonna run out or something like that, and like they're like people legit freaking out in like the comments of these posts, and they're just like, "What? How do I get my tickets?" Blah blah blah. Blah. I'm just like, all right, like this. There's a lot of hype starting up, so it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, have you looked at what's in Monroe and any like have you found anything that's what you're going to be doing when down there in Monroe?
I haven't yet, but I've just everywhere I've been since then has just been freezing cold, so
It'll be
kind
warm.
of, kind of just yeah, just getting that break off and just getting warm weather year round. I'm looking forward to it. So maybe even bringing the golf clubs with me. So
Yeah, you
it'll be
can't go
fun.
wrong with golf, and especially like
Yeah,
you can golf in like January and it's like probably 80 degrees out there.
yeah, it's sick. It'll be fun.
Yeah, but like what are your expectations going into next season just to compete for a spot?
I mean, obviously just make the roster day one.
Yeah.
It's just kind of just the main goal. And I mean, I just kind of want to get my name out there. Really just take this opportunity to kind of showcase my skills and kind of just be who I am on the ice. I mean, I'm not taking anything for granted for sure. Probably gonna be one of my toughest summers. I mean, it's got to be. Um, just because I mean, this isn't gonna be my last year of pro hockey, and um, so I just looking to make a true statement this year and kind of get my name out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just work your bag off and see where
Hmm.
it's what happens going in a day one of camp.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I have a few more questions for you before we wrap things up here. So, do you have any tips or advice for younger players looking to get to that next level?
Um, I mean, just finding that dedication of realizing like, hey, this is what I want to do. Um, I mean, once I kind of flipped that switch and kind of really just put my head down and saying, all right, like hockey's my thing. Like
Yeah,
this is what it's can only be this. So um that once you kind of make that adjustment and kind of just realizing that, then um I mean it all just starts to play out for you and just being consistent, preparation, details, consistency, just kind of been what I've been living off of for a while. And I mean it's working out. So just
yeah,
kind of going from there.
Yeah, the three staples: consistency, the details, and just the preparation. Like that's what's going to lead you to success and get you to that next level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's some great advice for all younger players listening and watching. So like I'm glad that you said that because it's completely true. But I think that's a great place to wrap this episode up. So Dylan, thank you again for coming on the show and really appreciate your time and want to wish you the best of luck with Monroe next year and hopefully we play against each other next year too.
yeah. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to see you out there. I appreciate you having me on, man.